to 15.7 trillion naira at the end of December 2019.
Senior Democrats have responded by accusing him of committing a gross abuse.
The All Progressives Congress has vowed to punish the Ogun State Governor, Ibikunle Amosun.
Welcome to News Desk on Celebration TV. I am Comfort James, and it is many thanks for joining us. A quick look at the news making the rounds for today. NLC mobilizes for protest over planned reclassification of minimum wage. Thousands defy Algeria curfew as protests resurge. On coronavirus, Texas and other states ease rules despite warnings. Petrol scarcity persists. Transport fares rise by 100%. Ronaldo Morata score as Juventus beats Spezia 3-0. Do well to stay with us as we bring you the news and details after this time out. Welcome back, and now it's the news in full. NLC mobilizes for protest over planned reclassification of minimum wage. The Nigerian Labour Congress says it will embark on a nationwide protest on March 10, 2021 over moves by the National Assembly to remove the national minimum wage from the exclusive to the concurrent legislative list. The Congress maintains the protest would be held in the 36 state houses of assembly in reaction to the plans by the House of Representatives to alter the present wage structure, which gave the federal government the power to negotiate minimum wage for workers in the country. Rising from an emergency National Executive Council meeting in Abuja, the NLC President Ayuba Waba vowed that the Congress would resist any attempt to exterminate Nigeria's working class. The House of Representatives had last week debated a bill to remove the powers to negotiate wage matters from the exclusive to the concurrent list, citing the inability of state governors to pay the 30,000 naira minimum wage for the move. But reacting to the development, Waba stated that the workers would not watch hard-fought rights, which are global standards, bastardized by opportunistic and narrow-thinking politicians. And now moving forward, the COVID-19 pandemic is unlikely to end this year, says World Health Organization. The World Health Organization, who says it was unlikely the COVID-19 pandemic will end in 2021. Mr. Michael Ryan, director of WHO's Health Emergencies Program, says it will be very premature and unrealistic to think that they are going to finish with the virus by the end of the year. What they can finish with, if they are smart, is hospitalizations, deaths, and tragedy associated with this pandemic. Ryan says WHO's focus at the present is to keep transmissions as low as possible and vaccinate more and more people. According to him, delivery of vaccines doses has improved compared to 10 weeks ago, although there are huge challenges in distributing them. Also, he says, if the vaccines begin to impact not only on death and hospitalization, but have a significant impact on transmission dynamics and transmission risk, then he believes they will accelerate towards controlling this pandemic. Meanwhile, the first phase of AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccines has arrived at Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja. The vaccines arrived the country aboard Emirates flights, which landed at about noon. In another development, EFCC deepens Tinubu probe, demands asset declaration form from CCB. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission has deepened its probe into All Progressives Congress stalwart Bola Tinubu. To this end, the EFCC has written a letter to the Code of Conduct Bureau requesting copies of Tinubu's assets declaration form. A copy of the letter, which was published by online news medium The People's Gazette, revealed that the investigation into Tinubu began last year after the removal of EFCC chairman Ibrahim Magu. The letter, dated November 6, 2020, by the then Lagos zonal head Abdul Rashid Bauer, who is now the chairman of the EFCC. The letter read in part, in view of the above, you are kindly requested to furnish the Commission with the outstanding requested information of Bola Ahmed Adekunle Tinubu. However, a senior EFCC official confirmed the authenticity of the letter, adding that it was part of a wider probe. And now looking at news stories coming from around Africa, thousands defy Algeria curfew as protests resurge. For the second consecutive week, young protesters accompanied by lecturers and other supporters poured through central Algiers, shouting slogans demanding a free and democratic Algeria and an end to the military's domination of the North African country. They marched through the narrow streets of the Kasbah in order to evade police cordons set up along the normal route of the once regular student-led marches. Witnesses say police had tried to block some protesters, sparking brief clashes. Security forces also prevented demonstrators from reaching the iconic main post office, which had seen vast gatherings during pre-COVID demonstrations. The Hirak protest movement broke out in February 2019 in outrage at then-President Abdelaziz Bouteflika's bid for a fifth term in office. The agent's strongman was forced to step down weeks later, but the movement continued with twice-weekly demonstrations demanding sweeping reforms to Algeria's cybernetic institutions. And now, still from around Africa, Sudan and Egypt's foreign ministers meet over Ethiopian dam. At a joint news conference in Cairo, the foreign ministers of Sudan and Egypt met to discuss bilateral cooperation as well as the urgency of reaching a legal agreement on the filling and operating of the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam on the Nile River, which has been causing controversy in the region. Sami Shakri, Egypt's foreign minister, issued the following statement: there can be no endless negotiations or negotiations to come, with one side continuing to take unilateral measures. Otherwise, the matter becomes a mess and leads to nothing but imposing the will on two parties and exposing their people to existential risk. The ministers expressed concern about the stalled negotiations, stressing the importance of water security and preserving the water rights of all three countries, as they called on Ethiopia to show goodwill. Mariam Al-Sadiq Al-Mahdi, the Sudanese foreign minister, reiterated the necessity to conclude ongoing talks. The officials agreed on the formation of an international negotiating mechanism made up of the European Union, the United Nations, and the United States and the African Union as the sponsor, as the organization's current chair, the Democratic Republic of Congo, to manage all negotiation activities. Right now, we'll be taking a break, and when we return, we shall be looking at news updates from the United States. Do well to stay with us.
Another gathering of ministers prepared for an overflow. The cloud is heavy, ready to rain.
Take it! Take it!
The anointing makes the difference for the perfection of the church and the work of the ministry.
This morning, they text me from Kano that one of my members' daughter has been kidnapped. So I came to the altar and I said, where is the Lord God of my father? Within 10 minutes, they brought the lady back to the parents.
Earlier this year, in the Precisely in the month of May, God visited our country to Kenya for the Nairobi, Kenya Supernatural. Precisely 3 months after our father left Kenya, God blessed us with 20 acres of land. It's worth
$1 million.
Take heed, prepare your heart for service. Minister Without Blemish 2021 March edition with Apostle Johnson and Dr. Lizzie Suleiman.
Before the end of this meeting, you shall see the power of God, because the power of God is present in this place today.
Proximity with God imparts life. Disconnection, how to know you are disconnected from God, is that materialism becomes your yardstick for growth. Date 23rd through 26th March 2021, live at the International Worship Center, Omega Fire Ministries, Kilometer 132 Benin Okene Abuja Expressway, Algeria, State, Nigeria. The time is 8 a.m. and 4 p.m. daily. Registration begins 22nd March 2021. For inquiries, please call +234 806 464 6180. Ministers Without Blemish 2021 March edition. Get revitalized.
Welcome back. Now looking at updates on coronavirus, Texas and other states ease rules despite warnings. Texas will lift its mask requirement and allow businesses to reopen at full capacity next week, Governor Greg Abbott has announced. It is now time to open Texas on 100%, the Republican said. Texas is the largest U.S. state to end its mask mandate. Mr. Abbott has faced criticism from his party over the measure, which was imposed last July. But the administration of U.S. President Joe Biden has made it clear coronavirus restrictions are necessary. The announcement in Texas came as similar rules were lifted in other states, including Michigan, Louisiana, and Mississippi, which also ended its mask mandate. The rollout of vaccinations against COVID-19 has boosted confidence in a return to pre-pandemic life in the U.S. President Biden says the U.S. is on track to have enough vaccines for every adult in the country by the end of May. Yet the wave of reopenings has put states at odds with the Biden administration and its senior health officials who have reacted with dismay to the relaxation of coronavirus measures at a precarious time in the pandemic. Looking at more updates, and this time from Europe, still on COVID-19, France approves AstraZeneca vaccine for over 65s. The French government says older people with pre-existing conditions can now get AstraZeneca's COVID-19 vaccine, revising its stance on the issue. People affected by comorbidities can be vaccinated with AstraZeneca, including those aged between 65 and 74, the health minister states. Last month, France approved use of the vaccine for under 65s only, citing lack of data for older people. Since then, studies have shown the jab is highly effective among the elderly. The Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine is widely used across the UK, but several EU countries are still limiting it to the under 65s, including Germany. The EU drug regulator has approved it for all adults, but it is up to each member to set its own rollout policy. In a further development, Canada's Immunization Commission advised against giving the AstraZeneca vaccine to over 65, saying clinical trial data for that age group was too limited. And now moving to news stories from the world of business. Petrol scarcity persists, transport fares rise by 100%. Petrol scarcity in Abuja and neighboring Nasarawa and Niger states persisted on and provoked an over 100% rise in transport fares in many locations of the affected areas. Also, hundreds of black marketers of petrol surfaced in various roads in Abuja and environs as they sold the commodity at between 300 naira to 500 naira per litre. The scarcity of petrol led to severe queues by motorists in front of the few filling stations that dispense the commodity. Transport fares were hiked by commercial transporters. For instance, the fare from Zuba, a border town between Abuja and Niger, to Bega, which used to be between 250 naira and 300 naira, was raised to 600 naira. Similarly, taxi drivers in Abuja city centre jacked up their rates by over 100%, collecting over 1,000 naira for distances that they previously accepted between 500 and 700 naira. Reacting to the development, oil marketers stated that the supply of petrol by the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation had been distorted. And still on business, CBN financed farmers cultivated 3.64 million hectares, says Emefiele. The governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Mr. Godwin Emefiele, says the Anchor Borrowers Program of the bank shows the need for all stakeholders to sustain current efforts by the bank to galvanize agricultural production to meet the requirements of Nigeria's growing population. Stating this, Zaro Kebi state during the inauguration of the 2020 wet season harvest aggregation and 2020 dry season input distribution under the CBN Rice Farmers Association of Nigeria Anchor Borrowers Program as part of the 5th anniversary of the ABP. He noted that 2.92 million farmers cultivating 3.64 million hectares across 21 commodities through 23 participating financial institutions had been financed in the 36 states of the Federation and the Federal Capital Territory from inception till date. These were contained in a statement from the CBN titled "Emefiele Charges Nigerians to Enhance Agric." He noted that Nigeria was naturally blessed to meet its food requirement and had no reason to continually repeat the mistake of neglecting agriculture. Right now, we'll be taking a break, and when we return, as news stories from the world of sports. We'll be right back.
For the year 2021, we will be coming to Anambra State. Precisely, we will be in Onitsha.
An uncommon shift.
Power! Power! Spirit of God! Shada! 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 Shada!
A mighty wave of glory.
I'm seeing a car. I'm seeing a color blue. I want to cancel accidents. I saw a trailer climbing a small car. Nobody survived. I'm only seeing the car number. I saw something like 541. Yes, 541. Is that your car number? SK.
Join me and the host of angels as we'll come for 2 meetings that will revolutionize your life and give your life a meaning.
Generational Impact 2021, Art Omega Fire Ministries Auditorium, City of Wonder, on Paul Umoji Road, opposite Inland Doors, Onitsha, Anambra State, Nigeria. For inquiries, call +234 807 368-8511. Praise be to God.
Welcome back in the sports news now. Ronaldo Morata scored as Juventus beat Spurs 3-0. Juventus gave their hopes of a 10th straight Serie A title a timely boost as they beat struggling Spurs 3-0 to move within 7 points of league leaders Inter Milan. Andre Pirlo's side were frustrated for long periods, but second-half goals from Alvaro Morata, Federico Chiesa and Cristiano Ronaldo clinched an important win. Juve sit 3 points behind second-place AC Milan, whose host Udinese on Wednesday, with Inter Milan 4 points for the clear ahead of their match at Parma. The Turin Giants have won the last 9 Italian league titles, but have it all to do to deny either of the 2 Milan clubs from ending that remarkable run. Morata says they are working to win, and if they don't this season, they will congratulate the champions, but as long as there is a mathematical chance, they will give their all on the pitch. Juventus started slowly as they had done in their weekend draw at Verona, with their only real opening in the first half seeing Chiesa having an effort ruled out for a clear offside. In another sports news, Aruna battles Indian star in WTT main draw. Nigeria's Kadri Aruna has been pitted against Indian Satyan Nanasekaran in the main draw of the men's singles of the $200,000 prize money World Table Tennis Middle East Hub in Doha, Qatar. Senegal's Ibrahim Diop failed to join Aruna in the main draw as he was beaten by Japan's Masataka Morizono 3-0. Tokyo 2020 Olympics bound Diop fought his way to the 4th stage of the preliminary, but the southpaw Japanese was too much for the African. Nigeria Olajide Omotayo, Egypt Omar Assar, Ahmed Salah, Mohamed El Bela and Khalid Assar were all shown the exit door in the first and second stages of the preliminaries. As the only African competing in the main draw, Aruna, who is among the 24 top players seeded for the tournament, will square up against the Indian on the table 1 on today. Now, before the rerun of the headlines, let's see, we've come to the end of the news for today from News Desk on Celebration TV, but right now we'll be giving you a recap of the headlines. NLC mobilizes for protests over planned reclassification of minimum wage. Thousands defy Algeria curfew as protests resurge. On coronavirus, Texas and other states ease rules despite warnings. Petrol scarcity persists, transport fares rise by 100%. Ronaldo Morata score as Juventus beats Spurs 3-0. And now to the photo of the day. There is a difference between being alone and being lonely. Now, in the picture you saw before now, there was someone having a cool time and alone time and relaxing, trying to enrich herself. Now, sometimes you should have some alone time for fresh and productive ideas. But on the other hand, loneliness is different and it has certain dangers that it comes with. So try hard to avoid being lonely for the dangers it can cost. Anyway, we would love to hear your thoughts too on the photo of the day, so do well to reach back to us via our social media handles: on Facebook Celebration TV, on Instagram My Celebration TV, on Twitter at My Celebration TV, and on YouTube Celebration TV. Now, your positive contribution to the wellness of the society you find yourself in or the organization you work in defines your leadership might. As an individual who knows what to do and do without expecting to be pushed has backed his way to success. Be it known today that everything we do, think, feel and believe either have a positive or negative effect on humanity and our national well-being. So, Be a part of nation building today. I am Comfort James, and it is many thanks for watching.
To 15.7 trillion naira by the end of December 2018.
Senior Democrats have responded by accusing him of committing a gross offence.
The All Progressives Congress has vowed to punish the Ogun State Governor, Ibikunle Amosun.